What's up, YouTube? It's Biblical Truther. I want to make some connections here for you guys, but first, as far as the title of this video, the Mandela effect being ancient tech, a lot of people correlate technology and magic, like the remote for a TV, for instance. Nobody really knows how it works, and to some people that's not aware of that technology, it would be magic if you were able to operate, say, a remote control car from across the yard or something. That would be magic to people, right? But as far as it being tech, I'm not sure that it would be considered technology per se. However, there is some talk in the Bible about curses and how they can be carried on through generations. And I'm going to start with Exodus 20. Exodus 20:5, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. I'm curious to wonder why they would hate him. Perhaps it could have something to do with, as it continues, in showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days thou shalt labor. I have that word labor highlighted because we've seen that word before, and it's used many, many times throughout the Bible. And it means to work, by implication to serve. Till, as in Genesis 2:7, till the ground, causatively enslave. Keep in bondage, be a bondman, a bond service. To compel, like them compelling people to get a certain type of intervention for a sickness, maybe. But anyway, if this Lord, this God of the Old Testament, can deliver generational curses across 3 and 4 generations. And there's a lot of speculation as to what a generation is or how long it is. Is it 70 years? Is it 100 years? But we can go with, say, 100 years. Say back in 1611 or whenever the Council of Nicaea took place, when they were editing the Bible for the masses, right? Could it have been a type of curse that caused a certain veil that we all know about to be placed over our eyes for the last 400 years, 400 plus years? I don't know. I'm not hip on the whole magic thing, dark magic, good magic, white magic, all this other types of magic that people be talking about. I'm not hip on all that. However, the Bible says that this can be brought on across generations. So could it have been a big ritual at the Council of Nicaea to veil the Bible in such a way that it would read differently to those that this curse affected, right? So with us being in the end times and the veil lifting, could it be that this curse that was placed on a certain type of peoples, and I'm going to get into that right after this, who these people are, but could it be that their curse is wearing off? Is that why certain things in the Bible are changing? Is that why we now have unicorns and how Yahweh is associated with the dragon in many passages throughout the Old Testament? Could that be how it was written originally? And it was only a curse on the masses, the uninitiated, if you will, a veil put over our eyes that we would not see these sorts of things, and now this curse is wearing off and it's starting to be revealed. So was this holy book actually a holy book for the true and living God or some other God, if you get my meaning? So let's get into who these people were. But first, I want to shout out to Rebecca 4555. I put this in a community post, so I would urge you guys to go watch it, because there are many people that have covered iPet Goat too. But her explanation was by far the best that I've heard, and it contradicts just about everybody that's ever tried to decipher iPet Goat 2, and I think she's spot on with what she's saying here. Um, but yeah, go check her out, man. Why it's two parts. Um, so I'm gonna continue on. This is from Kurimeo, Ahua. I want to play this part for you guys because I never heard this, and I have did some research on it, and it's actually true. So let's check it out. Did a video too. And what I'm going to propose to you guys is going to be yet another mind blower, just to give you a heads up, because this is going to challenge a lot of the things. Like I said, the things that I've been shown is so challenging to what we've been taught and what we actually believe. It's going to really, really shake us deep. So be ready. Now, y'all hearing this, right? So we've been always taught that the Danites is where the Antichrist will come from, right? But he's reading this right here, and I'm gonna show you something else I found in regards to Tefi in just a second. But uh, yeah, let that sink in for a second. But I'm gonna let him continue reading for a moment. So I'm going to stop it right there. I don't want to let this video go way too long. But who is Queen Teffy? If you don't know, this is supposedly her right here. And I'll put this in the description as always. But T. Teffy, Queen of Ireland, daughter of Zedekiah, last king of Judah, who was born in Spain and died in Odaba, Meath, Leinster, Ireland. The Chronicle says Teffy was born of the house of the High One, Princess of Zion, loved of the Lord, home of the house of her God, daughter of David, shepherd in Judah, tribe of the Lion, queen over Bethel and Dan, where they be scattered abroad. Now, is Dan actually the evil tribe, or did they merge with Judah? Because it sounds like they merged with Judah. Is not the words made sure? We are spread forth in alien places. Fire that has kindled burst to the uttermost hell. Princes led captive to Baal. I am left to pry from the outermost regions, far off isles of the west, home of the remnant of Dan. Sown as a thistle on earth is Jacob. The name of us is Legion. What? The name of us is Legion. Tongue of the Hebrew fails. Tia Teffy, describing the dispersal of the lost tribes of Israel. Buried in the poetry and folklore of Ireland is the tale of a prophet, an Egyptian princess, and Simon Brugg, Baruch, a scribe. Baruch is one of the books, or two of the books, that was removed from the Bible back in the day. They landed in Ireland about the same time that the destruction of Jerusalem took place, bearing with them a great chest and a stone wrapped on a banner. The princess married the Zerahite king Eochiad II, which is the Danite, as Kurimeo just read, Ardri, or Haramon, horseman of all Ireland. It is claimed that with the Princess Tia Teffy were brought to Ireland many priceless relics showing the Hebrew identity and royal descent of her people, among them the Jadam Moraine, or priest breastplate, the harp of David, sweet singer of Israel, and the famous coronation stone of the kings of Ireland, Scotland, and England, which I did a video on that a while back. This stone, tradition states, is the identical pillow upon which the head of Jacob rested at Bethel, that it was carried to Egypt by his sons and became sacred in the eyes of his descendants. It was called the stone of fate or fortune, and is spoken of in the old records as the ancient respected monument in the world. I don't know if I want to read this whole poem, but there's some interesting things in here that I want to point out. The beautiful one with a royal, prosperous smile, Teffy, Hebrew, beautiful, the most beautiful that traversed the plain, Timor of Bergia, whence so called. I guess I could read the whole thing. If you got time, I got time. I love learning things. Excuse me. Relate to me, O learned sages. When was the place called Timor? Was it in the time of the Partholon of battles, or at the first arrival of Caesar? Tell me, in which of these invasions did the place have the names of Timor, like Moors, like Moorish, Tia being, Tia Teffy, right? O Tuan, O generous Fishad, O Duban, ye venerable five. Now they like that five, right? Whence was acquired the name of Timor. Upon the coming of the agreeable Tia, the wife of Haramon of noble aspect, a rampart was raised around her house. For Leah, the daughter of Luhida, God's house, she was buried outside in her mound. And from here it was named Tia Muir. I'm probably butchering all these words, but Cathar, like the Cathars, that's familiar. Crofin, not inapplicable, was its name among the Tuatha De Danann until the coming of Tia, the just wife of Haramon of noble aspect. A wall was raised around her house for the Tia, the daughter of Ludhiah, and she was interred in her wall outside, so that from her is Tia Moor, and habitation which was a dun or Dan, and a fortress, which was the glory of Mers without demolition, on which the monument of Tia after her death, so that it was an addition to her dowry. The humble Haramon had a woman in beautiful confinement who received from him everything she wished for. And we're going to get to a good part here in just a second. He gave her whatever he promised. Brajatia, meritorious abode, where lies the grave, which is the great Mergech, Hebrew burial place, the burial place which was not violated. The daughter of Pharaoh of many champions, Tefi. She's the daughter of a Pharaoh. If she's the daughter of the kings of Judah, does that mean that means the kings of Judah were the pharaohs? Funny enough, I was supposed to make this video quite a few times already, and I've just been too tired to do so. But tonight, my wife said that Logic Before Authority was actually doing a video explaining how I think it was Jacob goes all the way back to the pharaohs, which is pretty interesting because right here is kind of correlating what he's making a video on right now as we speak. The daughter of Pharaoh of many champions, Tefi, the most beautiful that traversed the plains. She gave a name to her to her fair Kahir, the woman with the prosperous royal smile, Mer Tefi, where the assembly met. It is not a mystery to be said. A mirror was raised over Tefi. I have heard strength this without contempt, which great proud queen have formed the length breadth of the house of Tefi, 60 feet without weakness, as prophets and druids have seen. So these people were associated with the prophets and druids. And it goes through some more historical stuff here, but this just confirms what Kurimeo was just reading, that she did marry a Danite, and also her being the surviving daughter of the last king of Judah, right there, being the daughter of Pharaoh, which makes what the Egyptians, the Israelites, all the same people. The kings of Judah were the pharaohs, right there. Bam. It's crazy, crazy. So I wanted to look at some of the coat of arms, because this is one of the coat of arms of the tribe of Dan. And I had someone make a comment on the video a couple weeks ago about the Mandela effect changes in the Bible, how it now talks about unicorns, and it associates, like, here's a dragon down here. Here's they say this is the crown prince of Wales with the three, which I'm gonna come back to this because I got something else that this could be resemblant of. It's probably going to be a mind blower for you guys too. But first I want to play, where is it at? Another part of Kurimeo's video. So let's play this one real quick, and then I'm going to tell you what's correlating, or he will. So what he means by Deuteronomy 28, if you're not familiar with the Old Testament, is that was the Israelites, or so-called Israelites, going around what we were taught were Nephilim races, or fallen angel seed, that the Israelites were ridding the land of. They were sent by the God of the Old Testament to kill men, women, children, animals, pets, livestock, you name it. And I think Moses had got in trouble for keeping some livestock, or it might have been another person. I want to say it was Moses or Joshua one, who got in trouble by the Most High, quote, air quotes, Most High, for keeping some of the livestock from one of those raids. Weren't they supposed to go tear down the temples and the idols and break them into pieces and dash them? All these human sacrifice stones and all that they told us that these pagans or fallen angel seed were doing in their lands? Or was it something completely different? Was it the people who were doing the human sacrifices who rule the world today going in and tearing down the true temples? That's kind of what I'm getting at right here. What I'm getting out of all this, this last probably year of study. So weren't we told these were savages and they were worshiping all these pagan gods? But right here they're saying that these ancient cultures was telling these people, we don't need your idols. It was the people, the inquisitions that was coming in bringing idols. It wasn't these people who had the idols already. They were bringing them idols. Uh, should raise some eyebrows about the whole religious thing going on in the world now. Kind of like that generational curse I started out with the Mandela effect and all. Either they couldn't be certain they got all the Bibles during the book burning times, but this is kind of the reason why I think the Old Testament is a lot more recent than we've been taught. Uh, but yeah, these people are of high black magic, and however they placed a veil over us to not see all these things in the Bible, whether or not they were there prior to the whole Mandela effect, coming about. As I've told you guys before, they like to head all this stuff off before it even starts because they know it's coming. Well, how do you know it's coming? If they're astute in the dark arts, they know how long this witchcraft would last, right? So they would know a great awakening would be coming because the spell would wear off, right? So anyway, uh, let's see, that's that one. So back to the tribe of Dan. I want to show you some images. This is the heraldic emblems of Dan, and I'm gonna go through all the tribes, but check this one out, huh? The Great Seal of the United States, and those arrows right there, those three arrows held by what used to be the phoenix originally, and now is the eagle, has some significance to another tribe. But all of these, look, you can see a little. I think that's a lion right there. Lion over here, lion right there, and these phoenix. Uh, so that's the tribe of Dan. I see the heraldic emblems of Manasseh. Well, there's our great seal again. And I don't know if I still got it pulled up, but I Google searched, where the 10 tribes or where the 12 tribes are. And they say that the United States is now, or has been, the tribe of Manasseh, which is kind of crazy because they share the same emblem as Dan, right? There's your lion, the lion of the tribe of Judah that merged with Dan. Why Dan just disappeared from history? Well, that's because they were married together with Judah, right? We just seen that. So here's Judah's coat of arms. There's your lion, of course, because they like to claim to be, where Christ came from. But I beg to differ. I think Christ was from an altogether different tribe, and he was co-opted by these people who now run the world. So let's see, the heraldic tribe of Asher. There you got the lion, you got the eagle, or the phoenix, whatever you want to call it, the phoenix. And then you got the papal cross. There's the little things from the Catholic Church, which we'll get to in just a second. Let's see who we got next. Zebulun. And the Moors, I'm going to show you some of the Moors' coat of arms also. But the Phoenicians, the Moors, you do enough history search, the tribe of Dan was actually the Phoenicians. But it seems to me like all the tribes, there's your lion right there. There's all these, can't really tell if that's a dragon or not, but we'll see some dragons here in a minute on the 12 tribes coat of arms. But you got Russia, Netherlands, Scotland, New Zealand, Germany. A lot of them settled in Germany, but this is your sea empire, your, what's it called? Maritime law people, right? Here's the tribe of Benjamin. There you got it. It kind of looks like a dragon, but it might be some archaic looking lion. But can't really zoom in too much. But it's funny because you always hear about the wolf in sheep's clothing, right? That looks like a wolf right here on this little flag. This flag. There's your Iron Cross with the papal regalia. It's just crazy, man. And then Simeon and Levi. I think even in the Bible it talks about Levi being co-opted by Judah, some of the priests anyway, and they kind of almost got wedged right on out. So this one's a little bit different. And then I'm going to show you some other ones that are different, but this one's a little questionable still because you got the phoenix right here. You got the lion right here. Here's your lions also. Here's your eagle. Almost looks like it's got something in its mouth, kind of like the United States seal, right? So let's check out, well, I don't know why I threw that in there. But anyway, this is the coat of arms for the Moors. There you got the lion. There you got the phoenix. And it's in all of their stuff, man. The 3 stars, the Trinity and whatnot. There's your lion. More lions. Lion. Because that's what they do, right? They lion. But this one's pretty interesting. It got like a griffin right there, the whole mud flood thing, and everybody looking into Tartaria. And one of their greatest things that they venerated was the griffin. It was on a lot of flags. Well, it's on the Moorish flag right here. There's the griffin. So another correlation with them people. Here's your Catholic crest. This is the one I pulled up. Same lion that's on all the rest of them, all those tribes of Israel. And I think there was another cool one down there. You got the dragon right there. So all these people are flying the same coat of arms, right? A little bit different, but the same lion, the same dragon, the same all that. It's just crazy. Crazy. These people have taken over the world, and it's not who we thought. It's actually those people from the Middle East, right? So here's your Iron Cross. This is Freemason coat of arms. There's your lion, same lion on all the rest of them. The Iron Cross, the eagle, and the dove for the Catholic Church. Look, they even threw the dove in on this one. You got your little three trinity going on there. You got a phoenix up here on this one. I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. So this one is the Shriners. We got the Muslim symbolism going on here, but I clicked on this one because there's your Tartarian griffin again, and then here's your, well, maybe that's might be a phoenix. It don't have the lion's feet, but there's your lion on the shield. There's your big old dragon, kind of like the Phoenicians were said to have these boats with the dragon heads, and the Vikings also had the dragon heads, all the people from Ireland and whatnot. I don't think they were originally from Ireland. I think they ended up in Ireland because there's a little story of Joshua running some people out of the promised land, right? Back after Moses died, he wasn't allowed to lead them into the promised land, but Joshua did and run all the Canaanites out. They are said to be these people. Let's see where the next one is, what we got here. This is the Jewish coat of arms. There's your griffin. The Tartarian Empire. Bam. Jewelry. And you get up here on this one, the Jewish heraldry. You got the lion again. You got the handful of arrows. There's your unicorn, like the Queen of England's coat of arms. There's your lion, the griffin, the phoenix. I mean, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. And it's funny because this menorah reminds me heavily, when I see it depicted like this, of something that was shown in World War II. It was like well, it's almost, let me see if this one's it. It's almost something like this on the tribe of Dan, that eagle. It almost got the shape of that menorah, right? That's just my opinion. Can't be too speculative at this point to see all these correlating coat of arms from across the world. Now here's another one. They got a serpent on there. That's fictive coat of arms, Ashkenaz. Oh yeah, let's give them an excuse now. That's Ashkenaz. But you know what's funny? Let me go back to the tribe of Dan. Where's it at? Right here, one of theirs is the snake. There it is. Bam. Right there. Let me zoom in on it. There's your snake. There's your serpent. They say that the wisest of all the beasts of the field, right? Back in the garden, it was the wisest of all the beasts in the field. Yeah. So anyway, that there is, of course, the lion. They're going to take claim to that. But yeah, all these menorahs kind of remind me of that eagle, that iron. What's it called? I forget what it's called, from Germany, from World War II. But anyway, I found these coat of arms that are quite different from the rest. We do see a lot of, even in the iPet Goat little show there, they show the stag. It's in a lot of shows. A lot of people's broken it down, what the stag is. I'm not entirely sure. Hadn't done a whole lot on the stag, but this one is definitely a lot different than what was on those other coat of arms of those tribes. Now, if Kurimeo is correct in that the 10 tribes were here in America, not just America, but South America, Central America, North America, when the Spanish got here, if it happened the way they happened, I think it happened way earlier than they say. And even in Native American lore, stories, if you will, passed down from generation to generation, they say that they were here unhindered and untouched for about 800 years, 800 to 1,000 years before these people came back and started slaughtering and enslaving and stealing their land and whatnot, which is why I believe that 800 to 1,000 years was the 1,000-year reign of Christ. It had already taken place. And if you think about it, after the 1,000 years, according to Revelation, then Satan is released again to deceive the whole world. So if everybody thinking that America is the new world and that the Middle East is all the ancient stuff, then we've already been deceived. The whole world has been deceived, right? Because most definitely The Smithsonian, there's so many people in this country who are doing construction and come across ancient relics where the Smithsonian swoops in and takes them, and we think that they just disappear, but they're stocking museums over there in England and Egypt and Ukraine and Germany. They're stocking them with all these relics that are being taken from the Americas, whether it's South America, Central America, North America. I'm not trying to say it's just North America where the U.S. is. No. Because as we can see, the tribe of Dan and Manasseh is in control of this country. But anyway, Naphtali, back to what I was saying about Kurimeo. When they did come here, and it is documented, because he reads right out of the sources in the books, and I haven't, took it upon myself to get these books, but it talks about how some of these Indian tribes actually sided to, for self-preservation purposes or whatever, family preservation, whatever the case may have been, but they had sided with these people that came over here, these Moors, these Phoenicians, these sea people, as we saw with the boats on the shields. These sea people, these maritime law people came over here and started taking over and genociding. We know what happened to the Native Americans. But they come over here, and some of these tribes actually turned on their fellow tribesmen or neighbors, tribe neighbors, if you will, just for self-preservation. So that could be why there's more of the 12 tribe coat of arms that correlate with all the Ashkenaz and all these other tribe of Dan and Manasseh and all these other ones that are clearly on the dark side of things. But so I think these tribes right here, because their coat of arms are so different, that they could have or couldn't have, they've done skirted history so bad. Because like this one, the tribe of Reuben, you can see the eagle up here, which that could have very well been co-opted just to make everybody look like or look at them as evil. But I'm kind of leaning that way, man. These people are still repping this thing. If I were of the tribe of Reuben and I wasn't siding with them, I would have had all this changed personally, but that's just me. But here's the tribe of Issachar. You do have the lion right here, but funny enough, we have a political party that has a donkey as their emblem, right? This one's just crazy because that's a lot of donkeys in a lot of different places. Germany being one of the main ones of Issachar. So perhaps they're all cahoots in taking over the world. And this one, I couldn't find a real clear one of it, but this is St. George, according to the Catholic Church. There's statues all over the world of him stabbing this dragon on horse. He's on horseback, stabbing this dragon with a spear. So, and then there's your eagle down here, or your phoenix. So, and then over here, it looks like the dragons rose up, having a little battle with St. George or whoever this guy supposedly is. But it seems to me like it's so backwards that they got the whole world with this anti-Semitism crap, trying to handle these people with kid gloves, when the whole time it looks to me like they're the hidden hand. It makes me have to question their religious beliefs too. You know what I'm saying? Like Christianity. And which brings me to my next thing. Do y'all know who this is? Kind of looks like the modern day depiction of Jesus, don't it? Aside from this little whatever this thing is on his head. But that is definitely the mainstream Jesus all day long, right? Well, who is that? Oh, Serapis. Serapis, a Greco-Egyptian deity. The cult of Serapis was promoted during the 3rd century BC on the orders of Greek pharaoh Ptolemy. There's another guy on YouTube that cites Ptolemy an awful lot, talking about how, Egypt over there is the original cradle of civilization, but I'm not going to give him his props and say his name. But anyway, this is where Serapis comes from, or aka Jesus, Because I had another guy left a comment, basically telling me that Jesus' name is not pronounced Jesus when there's many Mexican descended people named or spelled exactly like Jesus that is pronounced Jesus. So you can pronounce it Jesus, since the 19th century. J was thrown into the mix of alphabet, but let's keep on reading, shall we? The cultus of Serapis was spread as a matter of deliberate policy by the Ptolemaic kings. Serapis continued to increase in popularity during the Roman Empire. Roman Catholic Church, right? Often replacing Osiris as the consort of Isis in temples outside Egypt. Though Ptolemy Ptolemy the First may have created the official cult of Serapis and endorsed him as a patron of the Ptolemaic dynasty in Alexandria. Serapis was a pre-existing syncretistic deity derived from the worship of the Egyptian Osiris and Apis. So they give us a little Egyptian funny, pictogram of Osiris. And what is Apis? The bull. Like the alpha or the aleph, which is basically a bull, a kind of a weird triangle. I started to look it up and then I forgot. So, but yeah, the Hebrew letter for aleph used to be the shape of a bull, like Apis, right? Apis, the aleph, the alpha, right? And also gain attributes from other deities such as, I don't even know how to pronounce that, powers linked to the Greek. Check this one out, guys. Hades. Oh, look at the picture of Hades. Man. And what's that little three-headed thing right there? That looks like a hellhound. Maybe that's what that's supposed to be, a hellhound. So Hades and Serapis are the same person, or Jesus, because I have to remember where I clicked on Zeus's picture, but it's the same guy, the same exact facial features of Jesus. But this three-headed figure, I told you I was going to go back to the tribe of Dan. Let's see if I can remember where it was at. Right here. I think I still got it pulled up big. So right here, the Crown Prince of Wales, this three-headed weird-looking thing right here. I don't know, that kind of looks like snake heads, but I can't really zoom in all that well. I don't know how to do most of that. But let's go back to Hades, and that kind of looks like that thing, coming out of that crown for the Prince of Wales, right? That's just my opinion. I can't prove that because that looks like a dog-headed something or another. So, yeah, Hades, Serapis, Zeus, the same person. Ain't that some skiddly dink? Let me see. I had went through a bunch of these, clicking on different things, getting into the Orphic faiths. Just funny. Orphism is the name given to a set of religious beliefs and practices originating in the ancient Greek and Hellenistic world, associated with literature ascribed to the mythical poet Orpheus, who descended in the Greek underworld and returned. This type of journey is called, let's click on it for the clicks and giggles, right? The name is given to a set of religious beliefs and practices originating in ancient Greek and Hellenistic world, associated with literature described to the mystic poet Orpheus, who described in the Greek underworld, or who descended into the Greek underworld and returned. This type of journey is called a catabasis and is the basis of several hero worships and journeys. Orphics revealed Dionysus, which is funny because I think that was one of the gods that was said to have came back, or according to, who was that? The Testament of Great Seth. I have cited many a times where supposedly the guy of Jesus had told him that he came back in a prior age as a female, because clearly Dionysus is not a female, but came back, as you can see, as Dionysus in a prior age to right the wrongs of the faith of humanity. But anyway, he is who once descended into the underworld and returned, and Persephone, um, that one right there, the daughter of Zeus and Demeter, who annually descended into the underworld for a season and then returned, kind of like, Jesus going into the underworld. Let's check out Zeus. I want you to see his face. It's maybe not as Serapis and Hades as the other ones, but to each his own. Interpret it how you want to, because this is kind of mind-blowing and baffling to me. But, they tell us that Jesus went into the underworld and brought up all the souls from Adam all the way up into his time, because they weren't given grace and they needed someone to go in there and save them. So Bacchus, Dionysus, they all the same person. Serapis, yeah. So it gets kind of crazy the deeper you go. But how many of you guys have ever seen this bust of Serapis? I brought that up in another person's chat one time, and he told me that it was not the time or the place. Some things had a time when I had told people to search Serapis. So now's the time, at least for my channel, to discuss Serapis, aka Zeus, aka Hades, aka probably Demeter, but I can't see his face, aka Dionysus. Wow. So next I want to talk to you guys about this straight and narrow way, the broad and narrow path, I should say. I want to show you guys what I have come to realize about the broad path and this little narrow path. When you're starting to set a trap for people, you want to make the inside, if they're hungry, if they're always looking for food, you want to put some good food in there. They'll definitely follow that narrow path right on in there and be trapped forever, right? Until you pull your little minnow trap out and use them for bait or eat them, whatever your case may be. But if you turn around, once you see the trap, if you turn around and head back that broad way, look at all this freedom out here. All this freedom from the broad way, right? So this is, just a Google picture of New Jerusalem, which is said to be 1,500 by 1,500 by 1,500 miles cubed. Not supposed to be any reference to a certain cube of Mecca or nothing. It just so happens to be a cube, and I'm sure somebody's gonna tell me that no, it's a pyramid, it's not a cube, but the measurements given in the Bible is a cube. So this is just one of the depictions that they show you of the inside. So as of a narrow trap, coming from a broad way to a narrow way into that trap that looks so beautiful, streets of gold, so pure that the gold is clear. You can see right through it like crystal or glass or whatever. Sounds great. Sounds wonderful. Sounds like the Bible's been telling us that we were enslaved here from the very beginning in that wonderful paradise, because I've showed you the actual Hebrew words there means to enslave. Just like it says in Exodus, just like it says in Numbers, just like it says in Deuteronomy when it's talking about I'm a jealous God and, I'll deliver curses to your children's children's children. Right? Sad, bro, but this is the God that I served at one time, but the veil is lifting. You know what I'm saying? The Mandela effect is completely wearing off. But anyway, this is the New Jerusalem. Look at all those cells, man. Don't it remind you of this? Ain't that a prison with prison cells? Look at there. Bam. 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 It looks good from the outside. It looks like a fortress, a castle, you know. Look at that castle right there. Let's see another one. Bam, look at that castle right there. You could just imagine it's got McDonald's, it's got, you know, swimming pools as big as tennis courts. It's got all, you know, probably water slides in the middle. You know, you got a little sunroom up here on top. But you know what this is? It's Alcatraz. Looks beautiful from the outside. Can tell you all they want what's on the inside, but you're going to be like, it's a fortress. It's in the middle of the water. Can't nobody get to us. It's going to be great. And then you get there and you're trapped for eternity in a 1500 by 1500 by 1500 cube. But it's got gold floors. It's got gold floors where you can see through them. Sounds like bulletproof glass to me. I didn't know you can purify gold to the point where it's transparent, but maybe you can. Maybe I've just never seen it before. Maybe that's 100 karat gold. I don't know. You know, I've only seen 24 karat, which is not so transparent. But anyway, yeah, it looks a lot like that cell block right there, my friends. And if I'm going to a different cell block for telling you this, then so be it. But this right here just sounds like a trap to me. Looks like one of these. That broad path is going to keep you out here in the broad opening. You get funneled into that narrow path right there, bloop, into the New Jerusalem cell block. Streets paved with gold and fountains of water that you probably won't be able to drink unless you get permission. Yeah, that's about where I'm at today. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. But is this the palace you want to be in? Or do you want to be in all this land in the background where you're free to roam? Free to be the true sovereign soul that you were created to be, because God, the true creator, is sovereign. He wants us to be nomadic souls, if you will, be able to transverse the realms that he's created for us. That was his whole purpose in doing this, creating this for us, right? Not to put us in a box to where we'll never be able to leave. That's crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to finish up with some of these coat of arms, this line of the tribe of Judah. You know, I believe Christ is 100% real. I believe he was here on this earth. I believe that's where they got their inspiration. But the Bible and it changing just sporadically now, perhaps it read the same way before. Maybe it read that same way before the Council of Nicaea, before these Catholic priests got together and burned incense and sacrificed God knows what to this whatever God that they're worshiping nowadays, and was able to get enough, especially if it was after some plasma event. Speaking of plasma, let me show you guys something. If you made it this far, bless you. Bless you. But it was Psalms 97:5. Let's see. Psalms 97:5. Let's start out at 97:3. A fire goeth before him and burneth up his enemies round about. His lightnings enlightened the world. The earth saw and trembled. The hills melted like wax at the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the Lord of the whole earth. You know, I find funny, they got Lord here in all caps, right? You know, the self-existent, eternal Jehovah. But when it gets over here to the Lord of the whole earth, it's all in lowercase. Completely different word. It's like Adonai is one of the words that the Jewish people use for God. But let's click on that because it's from an unused root meaning to rule, sovereign, that is controller, human or divine, Lord, master, owner. I choose to think he is the owner. He is a sovereign owner, just as he created us to be sovereign creations. He don't want us trapped in a box for eternity. He wants us to traverse the heavens with him for eternity, you know. And look, yet again, there's that word. Confounded be all they that serve. Serve. Up there it is. To work, by implication to serve, till, causatively enslave, keep in bondage, be a bondman. Man, man, man. Zion heard and was glad, and the daughters of Judah, or the pharaohs of Egypt, rejoiced because of thy judgments, O Lord. What Lord? What Lord? Is it this fella? This fella bringing destruction on humanity for not worshiping him? Because the God I've come to know does not destroy humanity for worship, because he's God. He doesn't need worship. He doesn't need worship. We are his children. Do you make your children bow down and worship you? Really? Ask yourself. Do you get up every morning and say, son, get on your knees right now, or I'm going to plague you with plagues of frogs, and I'm going to send the angel of death and kill all your friends, families, and firstborn. And I'm sorry. No, my God don't do that. If a God is telling you that he desires worship, he is no God. He is no creator. He is not the almighty creator of everything. Because if you're that creator, what difference does it make if you're worshipped or not? So anyway, this is probably getting long. Almost an hour now. So, wow. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. And I hope you guys consider some of this. I hope you guys made it to the end, because things are getting real and the veil is being lifted. And I hope you are willing to consider differences, different things than what we've been taught, because we have been lied to on such a massive scale. It's not even funny. It really isn't even funny. But at this point, what can you do but pray to the real God, the real true heavenly creator, who is your father, who don't require you to get on your knees and worship him. He is God. He is the God. So with that, I will leave you guys. I hope you have a great day, night, whatever time it is that you watch this. Love you guys.